get our music on. Say hi.
Three people are joining. Yay! Yay!
Hey.
Ooh. Then we got
Hey, Mama Jackie.
Jazzy, come here. Let's go say hi to the live.
Oh, Lord, she about to bring the cat.
Say hi. Say hi to my beautiful cat, Jazzy. Come on, get down. Get down now. Okay, there we go. Oh, people are waiting. Yeah. Now we got 23 people. Yay.
Hey, Sugar. Big Ed. Hey, Miss Monica.
We're waiting. Can I move the camera a little bit? Can I move the camera like that?
No.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, now we got 38 people. Mom, she said hi to both of us.
Hey, Sugar. Hey, Auntie.
Thirty. I can't handle it. Oh, wow, Mama. It's a lot of people.
I know, right?
It's happy now. This is happy life because coronavirus that I'm really tired of. Right, Mom?
Auntie Dust say hi, Cheyenne.
Hi. Oh, still 39.
All right, honey. I'm gonna get ready to go live and do this tutorial.
Okay.
And I'll call you back later, okay?
Call me when the answers are coming.
Okay.
Peace out. Thanks, Mom, for the music.
You're welcome, Zion.
Bye, y'all.
Hi, guys. Thank you guys for joining me on this afternoon. I'm going to be showing you guys how to do a wash and go. Of course, using my hair as an example. See how my hair look? It is all clean for y'all. I've been up since this morning getting it together for you. So, I'm going to first start by introducing myself. My name is Jaja, and I am a natural hairstylist. I have been doing natural hair for 5 years, been doing hair for 10 years now. And since we are all, I don't want to say locked in the house, safe in the house,
Mama.
I'm going to show you guys how to style your hair. And so today we're going to do the wash and go technique. If you have short hair like mine, as you can see, I have all levels of short hair. I'm going to do my best to show you guys how to properly style your hair and get the most definition for your texture. So like I said this morning, I shampooed my hair. I also did a hot oil treatment. I used my favorite oil, which is the Hot 6 oil. I set under the dryer for 20 minutes, rinsed it out, and then I used the Shea Moisture Black Jamaican Castor Oil shampoo. Shampooed my hair, and I used the Design Essentials Ultra Moisture Mask. And I set under the dryer for 15 minutes with that conditioner. So now I'm going to spray my hair, wet it down some more for y'all. You want to make sure your hair is nice and wet. And I'm going to use my favorite leave-in conditioner. You guys feel free to use whatever products that you have been using. I am not a product junkie. I prefer technique over product. What would give you the different results is basically your gel. If you have a soft holding gel, of course, you know, your definition will be a little bit more on a softer hold. It won't be as crunchy, and then your definition may not be as defined as long. But if you have curly hair and you like that soft fullness, a soft hold would work well for you. But for me, with this type 4 wonderfulness, I prefer a stronger hold. So I'm going to use this leave-in conditioner, the Shea Moisture Retention Leave-In Conditioner, and my favorite Extreme Gel. So I'm going to do a tutorial, or more of a conversation tutorial on moisture retention later on, because I do want you guys to get proper knowledge on, you know, the best way to achieve products and what to use for your hair texture, for if you have color treated hair like mine, if your hair is fine, whatever. I'm going to do all of that later. I want to be able to stretch all of this out as much as possible. So anyway, I'm going to start by using this leave-in conditioner. If you have longer hair, feel free to section your hair off, which is the best way to achieve your style. As well as when you're shampooing your hair, you want to make sure your hair is nicely sectioned off so that you will not get a lot of tangling during your styling process. I'm not using a lot. This product is highly concentrated and it spreads really well in the hair, where you do not have to put so much product on there. Just gonna comb that through really good, and I'm actually gonna start off in the back area where it's super duper short. It's a smidget of hair back there, y'all. A smidget, a teaspoon. Huh? What you say? Teaspoon of hair. So, for those who are working with really short, tight curled hair, the best way to achieve definition is going in small sections. The shorter the hair, the more detailed you want to be in your styling. If you have longer hair, it's actually easier to style because you don't have to go as small, but you can take bigger sections and just kind of go from there. But for those who are on the shorter side, it is best to start off in small sections, even with applying your product. So, start off with my gel, and I'm gonna rub it through my little eensy teensy bald head scallywag area. Now, for those that are not able to really pull the hair, but you want to achieve some form of a little curl something, comb it through. I'm using this comb here to help comb through the product really well. And I'm going to actually use my fingers and roll it around in that little small area to help create some curl. Now, for those that like to use those dishwashing sponges and those tennis rackets, I do not recommend those. Unless you are trying to keep your hair short, like you like your hair at a shorter phase, and you're not trying to grow your hair out. If you have it in a taper cut where it's short around here and you like it to be gradually longer here, you can definitely use those tools to help define your curls around the shorter areas. Once you get up in your area where it's longer and you're trying to grow your hair out, I would recommend using your combs, your Denman brush. Take your time and style your hair, because your dishwashing sponges and your tennis rackets, using them things to curl your hair, are going to split your ends. So that's my little opinion. However, y'all do y'all thing. So I'm going to take that gel, comb it through really well, and I'm going to take my palms and I'm going to go in a circular motion to create those curls. You will feel your curls start to kind of like ball up, if you will. Okay. Is it doing something back there? Can y'all see? Can y'all see something going on? All right, I'm going to move to my next section and kind of wet it up a little bit more. Taking a little bit more gel, because now I got a little bit more length where I can actually pull my hair. Okay. For the wash and go, you do not have to be as detailed when it comes to separating your hair, because you want all of your curls to kind of lay naturally. And that way, once it dries in the shape it needs to fall into. Taking my Denman brush, and I am combing the gel through really good. You see how small this section is? And just with the Denman brush, I have some curl. So I'm going to actually take this little section of hair. This is my favorite technique for those that have type 4 type hair and your definition is not as curly without using product. What I like to do is I like to take each strand of hair and I create my own clumps, because my hair, of course, as you see without the product being in there, is just a big old bush, you know, a nice bush, if you will. So I like to take the product, and once I apply the gel to my hair, it helps create the curls or bring out the curl definition. And now I'm able to actually separate my hair, my strands, and create my own clump, so that once it dries separated, and it won't be all clumped together. So once you shampoo your hair again, your hair is not as hard to detangle if you like to detangle your hair before you shampoo it. Okay? So I am taking the hair around my finger And I am twisting and pulling it. Twisting and pulling. Twisting, pulling. Twisting and pulling. Twisting and pulling. See that? And keep on going to the next section. You guys, do y'all have different textures on your head where you feel like you get to a certain section and it takes longer to style? Because that's what it is. You have so many different textures in your hair. You can have up to at least 3 or more textures in your hair. And sometimes you may have to make it a little bit more wet to style. You may have to go shorter to style it, to separate it, because it's a little bit more dense in that area. Get in there. Hey. Always want to comb your product through your hair before you separate your curls, so that your product can be evenly distributed throughout your hair and the section that you're working in. So I'm taking my finger, twisting and pulling it, twisting and pulling it, twisting and pulling it. Twisting and pulling. Twisting and pulling. Creating my own clumps. Separating the hair. And I'm using my fingers to curl my hair. Even if your hair, as long as your hair is somewhat, you're able to like grab it, you should be able to still kind of take your finger and twist just like that. Okay. I'm gonna wet it again. Make sure it's nice and wet. Taking my product. Now see them curls? All right now. Yeah, boy. Get in there. Make sure you take your Denman brush, which is a miracle. Huh? A blessing from Jesus. You take that Denman brush and you detangle as well as comb that product through the hair really well, so that you are making sure that all the product is on each strand that you are working with. That way you can achieve maximum definition. If your hair is that short down here, you stick with that. And even if your hair is short like that all the way around, you know, you want to use your hand starting out here. Stay there for a minute until you feel them curls come on in there. Get you a mirror, make sure you can see what's going on, and work your way up. And just get in there. It takes time, but if you want to look like something, you got to take the time out to do that. When you section your hair off and you put the product in each section, that will help you to not use too much product. You know, you won't be wasting products, and then that way you can have the most definition throughout your hair, and your hair will not be as frizzy in certain areas versus in another area. You can kind of, you know, use your judgment based off how much product you need in your area. But just taking your time and sectioning it off will help with not overloading on too much product. It takes practice, you guys. Don't think that, you know, this is your first time really getting into this natural styling process and you're learning your hair for the first time. You know, what's going to help or how you get better, of course, with anything, it takes practice. So don't be so hard on yourself. The key is learning your hair, learning your texture, learning your porosity of your own hair, how well your hair holds moisture and it retains it. That is what is mostly important when it comes to product choices and what shampoos and things to use. But when it comes to this styling thing, you have to take your time and you have to practice. Is it looking like something back there, y'all? All right, I'm going to take a break and come on up here for y'all. So now for the long hair sugars, even though this ain't long, it's longer than what it's been. Honey, bald is best for me at this time. Okay, nobody got time for all that extra. Mother got to get in and go to bed. Yeah, I know. So, because this area is a little bit longer, we'll take it a little bit wider when it comes to the section. Let's section it off. Take my gel and smooth it down. So for the beautiful sugars that have the longer hair, when you are taking your sections, you actually have, you know, more options in regards to how you define your curls. You can use the raking method. You rake your fingers through your hair to help create your clumps. If your hair does not naturally clump like that, you can take your dimming brush or your detangling brush and curl your hair with your dimming brush. And you can also, like, this is also a great way to define your curls too when your hair is short. If you do not feel like doing all the extra pulling apart and all that twisting and curling, take your Denman brush and do just like I did with those sections. Comb it through, smooth it through. Take your Denman brush and create your clump just like that. And let it do what it do. Right? Or if you have texture that is not as curly, like in the S shape, and you have more of the Z pattern, what you want to do is grab a piece of hair or a clump of curl, and you want to actually twist around a little bit more. And for that Z shape, it's not really going to be too much of a coil because your natural curl pattern is not like in an S form. So it's going to, if you go like this, it's actually going to form more into like this nice deep spiral, if you will. Now my hair is not as, to me, it's not as defined in this area like it is back here. So I like to twist it around a little bit more because this area gets frizzier a little faster. So I'm going to take my clump of curl and I'm going to twist it around my finger. All right. And as it starts drying, it's going to actually just kind of spring back and shrink like it's supposed to. Okay. Take my gel, smooth it through. Take my Denman brush, tangle, and comb the product in really well. Take my fingers, twist and pull, twist and pull. So like this technique, I'm gonna call it like a finger curling technique, not really coiling the hair. So when you're finger coiling it, you're actually twisting a little bit more or a lot of bit more depending on what your natural texture is or your curl pattern is. But I'm actually just using my fingers to help define my curl just a little bit more so that as each day goes by, my definition lasts longer. And you'll typically get at least a week, almost 2 weeks, when it comes to how long your curls last you or how long your hair holds the style. For me, mine typically lasts for like a week. And that's normal, you know. Plus, I like to shampoo my hair once a week because that's the best way that my hair retains moisture is by cleaning it, you know. Going to my next section. Combing it through. When you're detangling your hair, you guys, start from your ends and then work your way to your roots, making sure your roots are nice and smooth. That way you can get definition from your ends all the way to your roots. If you prefer volume, in height, then just comb at your ends. That way your roots can be a little bit more on the kinky side, and then you can have more volume in certain areas if you like it. Nice.
Mom, I have to go get the soap because there's no more in here.
Okay. If you guys have any specific questions or concern, once I finish styling my hair, please feel free to ask those questions. If I did not get a chance to answer your questions, I will try to answer them later on today. You can feel free to message me if you have any personal questions or anything you would like for me to discuss personally. I'm willing to help you guys out as much as I can. My clients know, and you all should know, that I love doing what I'm doing. I want to, like I said, be of help and a blessing as much as I can to you guys. I know this is a very hard time for a lot of us, for most of us. And so I generally want to be as much of help and offer as many advice and things that I can, so we can all get through this still looking fine. You see? Huh? All right, I think I'm at the last section. Woo. Praise God. Mm-hmm.
The reason why I'm talking quiet is because I'm talking. And I'm this hurt.
See those curls?
Mama got some curls.
Zion, look at the bottom of the bathroom cabinet and hand me my pick under there.
Okay.
Thank you.
No, Mom. Oh, baby.
You see how I'm just picking up the curls and I'm just pulling it. It doesn't
Alright.
like have to be super
Where's the
perfect or anything. It's just all about taking those
You need this, little buddy?
clumps of curls and just
Mom, you need this, buddy?
pulling it and twisting it. Yep.
You got
I'll just put it right there on the table.
this one. This one.
That one is fine. Thank you. Okay. Like I said, for those that have more of your Z pattern, you want to twist a little bit more to kind of give you more of a definition. And that will allow your style to last a little bit longer. Pick up them curls and twirl. Hey, pick up the curls and twirl. Right? Now, if you have textures in your hair where you are still transitioning, remember I was mentioning that in order for this styling technique to work at its best, your hair must be curly from the roots to the ends. And so, like for some of my clients, I haven't like big chopped all their straight ends off. So maybe up in this area, they'll still have hair that is curly at the roots, but still have either heat damage or relaxed hair on the ends. You can do the curl and pull method or your, palm roll curl method around the sides and back, depending on how long it is. And once you get to an area at the top where it gets straighter, you can either do you a rod set, using perm rods. You can use flexi rods, or you can do a twist out and using rods on the ends. If you don't want to have to use, rods and things all throughout your whole head, you can do 2 methods in one and still have a really cute style. This technique to me is best for length retention if you're not trying to break your hair off and you want your hair to grow. If you have, kinky hair from the roots or curly hair from the roots to ends, doing the wash and go method or even the perm rod or flexi rod to me is the best styling method when it comes to defining your curls, because you're more than likely not going to go in to refresh your hair. That way you're not likely to touch it all the time and manipulate it all the time. See that? Yeah. So, one thing I like to do sometimes is I'll bend my head down and I'll shake it. And that also helps a little bit when it comes to like separating the curls and just kind of allowing them to stand up as I bend my head down and allow my curls to fall over. Zion, stop laughing at me.
No, because the TV was funny.
Oh, she's laughing at the TV. Okay, I'm sorry. And I take my pick while it's wet before it dries, and I'll go in and I'll kind of lift in certain areas to help it stand up a little bit more. That way, once it dries, I really don't have to do any form of lifting. I can just kind of let it get taller or higher on its own as it gets older. Right? What you think? Yeah. You want elongation? I give you tips on that later on. This here is going to imitate your natural curl pattern. This is why I call this is like a wash and go technique, because you're not like 2-strand twisting it. You're not taking rods to curl it. You're just using your fingers and twisting it, and it's going to bounce back the way your natural curls bounce, right? And you can do that for any texture. Like I said, when you have really short hair, you take your hands and you just kind of go around like that. If you desire to have some form of a like polished curl style, you can still use the sponge if you like. But as your hair grows out and you can pull the hair, just go ahead and use your fingers and take your time. Okay? That way your hair will continue to grow and flourish, and you won't have as many, create split ends or have broken ends. Because the hair is most fragile when it's wet, right? Although our hair is very strong and kinky and all that, it is still the most fragile when it comes to it being wet. So you have to use wisdom when it comes to what styling technique you prefer to use to define your curls. So, any questions in regards to, what's on your mind? What you got going on? Hi, Miss Tracy. Thank you. I will leave that information for you at the end if you don't mind. Oh, there it is. Thank you, Miss Jackie. Aw. Thank you, guys. I hope this helped in some type of way. A curl booster. Are you referring to, Miss Rolanda, when you're referring to a booster, are you talking about like for Jerry curls? Because if you're using like the spray to curl the hair, I'm sure you can do that same technique that I was doing when it comes to using my hands to curl the hair. But the style won't last as long. So the best product that I recommend for this style technique is the gel. And this is the gel that I use. It's the Extreme Gel. It has maximum 10 hold. Hold maximum. By Maine, it's a cream. Sure. Yeah, you can. What it'll likely do, Miss Rolanda, you asked about the cream from the Maine. I'm pretty sure you can, still use the same technique that I did. I'm not sure on how the style is going to hold or what the curl definition is going to look like. I don't think so. I don't know. You can actually get this gel from Meijer. I've seen it at Meijer. And I'm not positive, probably at Target. And Amazon will probably carry it as well. So the detangler I recommend it in regards to, you want to either detangle before you shampoo it or before you style. If you want to detangle your hair before you shampoo it, you can use like just a good conditioner, regular like instant conditioner. Wet your hair really well and take sections and detangle your hair before you shampoo it. If you're referring to a detangler before styling it, you can use this leave-in conditioner here, or any leave-in conditioner that kind of has like a nice light creamy consistency when the hair is really wet, and it will help detangle your hair before you style it. And then you can also detangle your hair before you allow your conditioner to sit after you shampoo it. Like I said, the best way to keep length is to not have as much manipulation when it comes to styling your hair. So while you're shampooing it, you can take your fingers and use your fingers as your comb to help detangle your hair as you're shampooing it. When you have your conditioner in your hair in your sections, you can take 4 sections, 2 back here, 2 at the top. Put conditioner in each section and take your detangling brush or comb, wide tooth comb, or your fingers and rake the conditioner through your hair to help detangle your hair before you style. All right, now gel is on its way. So for moisture retention, you have to spritz your hair with water. I like to just allow the steam in the shower to moisturize my hair naturally without having to use an actual product on my hair every day. If I'm using a product every day, it's just the oil. Either this oil or a light spritz oil, because your moisture comes in with your shampoo and your conditioner. That's the best way to moisturize your hair. It's through the shampooing, the conditioning, the pre-poo treatments with the hot oil treatments. That's your best way to moisturize your hair. So as a daily moisture, or with oil, it's not a moisturizer, it's more of a sealant, and so this is going to keep your hair moisturized as long as possible, or as long as your hair will retain moisture. I'm going to sit under a dryer now that my hair is all done. I definitely recommend you guys to invest in a dryer where you can sit and let it dry. I mean, if you like to air dry, that's fine. But for me, I get better results and long-lasting styles when I sit under the dryer. Yes, keep practicing, Miss Charlotte. If your curls are really tight, the smaller the section, the better. And taking your time and using your fingers, to twist around a little bit more to help with that curl if your hair is really tight. Or if it's tight, you don't even have to twist. Just separate it, because if the curls are already tight like that, then you probably want to more elongate the hair. So you can just separate it. And then as your hair dries, it's going to shrink, and however it's going to shrink in its natural state, and you'll still have definition. It's kind of like doing the opposite. If you have a more straighter texture and you want curl, you want to do more twisting with your finger. If you have more of a tight texture or tightly curled texture, then you want to actually take your sections and just separating them without twisting. That way, once it dries, it just dries in its natural shrinking state, and you'll still have definition and nice separation that lasts a long time. Thank you. Mama Quinn, I'm going to get that color, girl. We're going to do that color. I'm ready for you. All right, you guys. I appreciate you all. Like I said, feel free to give me suggestions on anything you would like for me to show in the near future. I'm going to try to do this every Saturday. I'm going to have my oldest John Paul as a model. He has locks. I know some of my clients, very few, have locks. Some I have started locks on. And want to help you guys out as much as possible. I have my daughter, Zion. She has more of a shoulder length, kinky hair, but her hair shrinks, baby. That thing short. You hear me? That thing shrink up. Ain't that right, Zion? Come here. She still has her braids in right now. But we're going to take her braids out because she's ready to wear her natural hair. So I'm going to do a wash and go on her as well. And I'm going to just kind of do a flat iron on her. Because she likes to wear it straight too. But we're not going to do that all the time. We're just going to do that every now and then.
Mama. Okay.
And I'll demonstrate how to do some like twist and curls or twist outs on her for the, longer hair. Because I'm going to do, I don't do a lot of flexi rise and perm rise on my hair. But for you guys, I will do it because we got time. And so I'll show you guys how to do that for my length and texture as well as hers. Okay? You guys make sure you follow me on Instagram too if you're on Instagram. Naturally Glamorous. Naturally Glamour Us is my Instagram page. And also follow Glamour Salon as well. We're on Facebook as well as Instagram. Alrighty. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. And I will see you guys next Saturday. Love y'all. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.